Okay, we're taking a quiz tomorrow, and it's going to be all area stuff. Okay, area of what? Let's list the different things that we're going to find the area of, and let's put the formulas down. If you know the formulas, that's probably 90% of getting this right, getting the quiz right. All right, if you know the formulas, you should. None of these are like extra difficult. Let me see. Find area. Yep, every single one of them on the quiz is to find the area. You know how you had a couple problems where they gave you the area and you had to find the base or you had to find the height? That's not even on there. All right, I made it super easy for you. So all you have to do is find the area. All right, pretty simple. What's that? There's that little blue one right there, that little plastic one on the desk. All right, so let's go through. What were the first things we did area of? Rectangle. Let's list them, and then we'll put the formulas down, okay? Then we did square. Then we did, well, before trapezoid, what did we do? P, parallelogram. Good. O-gram. Let me finish writing this first. All right, let's move over here. And then what do? We did a kite. Let's see, triangle, right? Isn't that what you said? No, it was triangle first, because we did triangles the first day. Actually, let me put triangle right here. So the first day, we did area. These are the ones that we found the area of, okay? And then, the second day, 7-2, we found the area of those other things. What were the other things? I forget the order, but trapezoid. Okay, trapezoid. And then we did a kite. Then we did a rhombus. And I think that was it, wasn't it? This second day. All right. Now, there's 7 different things, but do you have to memorize 7 different formulas? No, because a lot of them, not a lot, well, there's a couple of them that repeat, several of them that repeat. So, what is the area of a rectangle? It's just the base times the height. Now, what has to be true about the base and the height? Not parallel, perpendicular. We never get that right. Perpendicular. Okay, they got to be perpendicular. So the base and the height have to make a right angle with each other. Make sure that you understand that. All right. What's the area of a square? Yeah, you could go base times height, couldn't you? Because it does have a base and a height. But what's true about the base and the height of a square? They're exactly the same. They're equal to each other. So the book says this. Instead of base times height, they just say take the side, just take one of the sides and just square it. Which means you're taking one side and multiplying it by another side because they're the same. Make sense? All right. So technically, the first two are basically the same formula, aren't they? Yeah, base times height. What's true about the area of a parallelogram? It's also what? Base times height. Very good. Again, a parallelogram, the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. Rectangle and square, it's easy because a rectangle already has 4 right angles, doesn't it? A square has already got 4 right angles, right? So the two sides are the base and the height. Parallelogram's a little bit different because, well, it's not too good. Let's try and make that a little bit better. Okay, so if I consider that the base, is this side right here the height? No, because it's not perpendicular to the base. So what do they always do? They drop it down like this. Remember that? Okay, they make it so it's perpendicular. I know it's kind of small, but that would be the height. We'll do some examples with this, okay? This is just kind of a refresher, just to kind of remember what these formulas are. Remember what I said the last couple days? You should have a place where you put these all together. This is a perfect time to do that, all right? I'm listing them all, so I would write them all down, and you can just flip to that. And tonight, when you go over it, you got it all in one spot so you can figure out what the areas are. All right, now, these were all the same. All 3 of those were basically exactly the same, all right? What about a triangle, though? That's it. Okay, it's kind of the same, but then what do? Remember we did that thing with the rectangle, and I did the diagonal, we split a rectangle into 2 triangles. right? So one of the triangles is half of the rectangle, so that's why the half right there, okay? Base times height divided by 2. Or, what's another way you could have written it? 1/2 the base times the height. It's the same thing, isn't it? Yep, taking half of it, dividing it by 2 is taking half of it. It's the same thing. What about a trapezoid? This was day 2. This was 7-2. It's kind of like a triangle, but it's, yeah, you want to put the half first, like we did right there? So watch, it's kind of like the triangle, but instead of just having one base, how many bases does it have? It's got 2 of them. What do we do with those 2 bases? We add them together. That's right. So this is basically like this. Would you agree? The trapezoid is basically like the triangle, except it's got 2 bases. So you just add the 2 bases together. You still take half of it, and you still multiply it by the height. I would multiply by height first, then take half of it. Everybody good? All right. What about a kite? Given the diagonals, if they give you the diagonals of a kite, how do you find the area of it? Again, it's 1/2, right? And then it's D1. What's the D? I didn't have a D yet. It's the diagonal. So you take the one diagonal and multiply it by the other diagonal. Everybody good with that? So what's the area of a rhombus? It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing if they give you the diagonals. Okay, and if I give you a rhombus, which I do, I only give you one rhombus, so one problem is a rhombus. And I give you the diagonals, and so you can go 1/2 D1, D2 with that as well. All right? So these two have the same exact formula given the diagonals. All right? There is another way to do a rhombus, and it would be just the base times the height. But in this one, we're not going to use that. Okay, we're going to use the diagonals. Abdul? Do I have a worksheet with it? On that worksheet, I believe so. I believe you had every one of those, didn't you? I mean, we're going to answer some questions on the worksheet in a minute. But yeah, on the quiz, every single one of these is going to be on there. All right? I'm looking at it right now. I see a rectangle. I see a triangle. I see a parallelogram. I see a square. I see a rhombus. I see a trapezoid. I see a kite. I think that's every one of them, isn't it? Yep. So you'll need to know every single one of these. But it's really not that hard because look, all those are the same, right? All these are the same. And these two right here are kind of the same. Not exactly, but kind of, right? So really, you only got really kind of 3 things to memorize. That's not that much, is it? Base times height, how hard is that? Triangle, you take half of it. Trapezoid, you just add the 2 bases, right? Multiply it by the height and take half of it. Right here, these two are exactly the same. Just take the 2 diagonals, multiply them together, take half of it. Couldn't be easier. I'm telling you, I'm thinking this quiz, there should be a lot of 20 out of 20s on this quiz. All right, there really should be. I know I've said that in the past. It hasn't always worked out that way. But I think this one, you really should be able to do it. All right? Here's another thing. Make sure tomorrow that you bring your own calculator. Okay, you're not using the calculator on your phone. You must bring a separate calculator if you want to use it. You don't have to use it. I mean, it's possible to do this quiz without a calculator. Tell you what, though, it'd be a lot easier for you if you had a calculator. You are not going to share. No sharing the calculators. Okay, I'm putting this here so that when I tell you, when you try to share with somebody tomorrow, I'm going to say, nope, no sharing. What? You never said that. I'm going to go back to this, and what am I going to say? There it is. No sharing calculators. Everybody got it? And no phones. Let me write that down. Got to keep a paper trail. You ever hear that phrase? It's not really paper, it's digital, but want to keep a digital trail. All right, so no phones, have a calculator, no sharing. you can still do this quiz without a calculator. I would just suggest having one. Look, if you don't have your own calculator, borrow from somebody in another class and bring it in here. You can do that if you want to. Just give it back to them. Or you can go to Walmart or Rite Aid or wherever. You could probably buy a cheap little one for probably $10 or less. All right. And then you got a calculator for the rest of your math career. All right. So make sure that you have that because that's very helpful. All right. Let's do some problems. Let's find the area of a rectangle. Tell you what, I'm just going to make up some numbers. Is that all right? So I'm not going to... Oh, here's another thing. You know how we had inches, like if we had a rectangle, oh, that's an ugly rectangle. One side was in inches and the other side was in feet. I don't do that on this quiz. I give it to you all in inches or all in feet or all in centimeters, so you don't have to worry about changing one to another. You know what I'm talking about, right? We spent a lot of time talking about that yesterday when we went over the quiz. So if this side's going to be in inches, what's this side going to be in? It's going to be in inches, okay? You want to say thank you or not? Okay, there you go. All right. So I'm trying to make it so that you guys can get a good grade on this, all right? With still making sure you know how to find the area of these things, all right? I think I probably made it too easy, but I'm sure you don't have any complaints about that, do you? All right, so let's do a rectangle. So we're finding the area. I'm not going to write find area every single time. I'm just going to write it one time, and we're finding the area of all these things, all right? This is a rectangle, so that means all the angles are right angles, 90-degree angles. And I don't know, let's make something up. Give me a length of this side. Nothing crazy. 6, I heard 6. What's this? I heard 8, so I put 8. All right, so let's find the area of this rectangle. Well, what's the formula for area of a rectangle? Base times height. Now look, I want you to show your work as well. On several of your homeworks and even in the other class, I put show your work. I took points off because I need to see how you got it. Look, I understand. You can look at it. Do you even need a calculator for this? No. All right, but I need to see what you did. I need to see how you got your answer. How is important, okay? How did you get the answer? If you just write 48, how do I know how you got that? Who knows? You might have just looked at somebody else's paper. I don't know, all right? I got to see that you know how to do it. So what did you do? Let's put inches. 6 inches, 8 inches. So what do I write? What's my work? Yeah, 6 inches times what? 8 inches. All right? That's your work right there. Okay? When I say show your work, that's what I mean. It's not that hard, is it? Just write down what you're doing in your head. All right? 6 times 8 is 48. Inches times inches is inches squared. So make sure you put the inches squared. Make sure you put the number. Circle it so I know what your answer is. And there you go. That's the perfect way to do this problem. Everybody understand that? All right. I expect to see it then. All right. I hear that from you, but I expect to see that tomorrow. All right. Let's do a triangle. I actually have 2 different triangles. Actually, you're going to do 3 with a triangle. 2 have pictures and 1 just has words. Okay. So here's the picture. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. That's not a triangle. Let's make this. This is being recorded. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be paying attention now. All right, here's a triangle. And then let's do this in a different color. On the quiz, it'll be a dotted line. It won't be in a different color because it's all black and white. All right, but on the quiz, it'll be a dotted line. And here's what they do. They give you some numbers. Oh, it's actually not. Here, let's change this a little bit. I thought this was an equilateral triangle. It's not. There we go. All right. I don't know. Let's make the bottom something like 14. Let's make that white. All right, so they put a 14 right there. Let's put centimeters. I don't know. If that's 14, this is a little bit longer than this. So what are you going to make that side? 7? All right, we'll put 7. I don't know. That doesn't look twice as big as that, though, does it? Like what? 4? If this is 14, that's definitely not 4. 11, I heard. All right, 11. That looks like it could be. So that's 11 centimeters. This is the same thing, so that's 11 centimeters. And I don't know if this works out because there is an actual formula for this. I'd have to do the math on it. I'm just going to make up a number, all right, which probably isn't correct, but that looks shorter than that. So I don't know, what, 8 or 9, something like that? Maybe 9, okay? All right, I'm just making these numbers up. And again, we haven't done this yet in here. We're going to do it this chapter. We're going to do Pythagorean theorem. Remember I mentioned that yesterday? All right, so this probably will not work out. I mean, the area is fine, but anyway, let's just do it. So, what do? It's a triangle. So what's the area of a triangle? It's base times height divided by 2. So you just have to know the base and the height, and then you divide it by 2. Which one is the base of this? And by the way, that's like that, okay? Yeah, so 14 is the base. And then what's the height? 9. Why is it an 11? It's not because it's connected. Say it, son. Because 11 is not what? It's not perpendicular, okay? 11, this side right here is not perpendicular to that. Do you see that angle right there? Is that a right angle? No. So that can't be the height. What's the height? It's the one that's perpendicular. Which one's perpendicular? This. So are we even going to use the 11? No, we're not even using the 11. I wouldn't say it's there to trick you, but it's there to get you to think a little bit. If I just gave you 2 numbers, it'd be pretty basic, wouldn't it? Just use those 2 numbers. But I give you some other ones. You got to know which one is the base, which one is the height. Evan, come up. I thought you had a great thought to share with us on area of a triangle. But it's always bathroom. All right, so what do? Take the 14 times the 9 and do what to it? Divide it by 2. Now, let me show you a little trick. You could go 14 times 9. I don't even know what that is. I could probably figure it out. But watch this. Watch this. Everybody watching? Look, I got a 14 on top and a 2 on the bottom. What can that 2? 2 goes into 2 twice, right? And 2 goes into 14 7 times. So now it's just 7 times 9, which is 63. Don't even need a calculator, do I? Now, it is in centimeters, so you can't forget what? Centimeters squared. Don't square the 63, square the centimeters. Circle it, and you're good to go. Make sense? All right. Let's do another triangle. This triangle looks a little different. But we kind of talked about it when we wrote all those formulas down. What kind of triangle is this? Well, by the angles. By the angles, what kind of triangle is it? It's obtuse. That's right. All right. And again, I don't know if this number works. I'm just making this stuff off the top of my head. Let's say that this is 7. That right there. But then, what do you think they do? They extend this side, and then, again, I'll do a different color. You won't see any colors on the quiz, obviously. A parallelogram? It's 3 sides. 3 sides. What's 3 sides? It's a triangle. Now look, this little bit right here, all I did was just extend it out a little. It's like an imaginary extension, all right? So that's why it's dotted. And this right here, what's the red right there? That's my what? That's my height. And I don't know. Again, that looks a little shorter than that. Let's just call it 6. Okay? So now, I got to find the area. Again, what is it? It's a triangle. So what's the area of a triangle? Let's write it down again. Base times height divided by 2. Right. Everybody should get that. So what's the base and the height of this? It's the 3 and the 6, right? Because if I extend that over, this is perpendicular. All right, it's a right angle. And I'll do that on the quiz. You'll see the right angle symbol on there, okay? Say that again. Oh, that's right. I don't know. What do you want to make it? Let's make it feet. All right, so everything's in feet. 7 feet. Okay, are we even going to use that 7 right there? No, we're not going to use that 7. So base is 3. Height is 6 divided by 2. Should be able to do this. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9 what? Feet squared. All right, you got to have the feet squared in there. That's part of your answer. Everybody understand that? You can do that too. Well, watch. The way I did the other one. Okay, watch this. 2 divides into what? Into the 6. So 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 6 what? 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. See, I get the same answer. Doesn't matter how you do it. And on that other one, if I wanted to, I could have gone 14 times 9 on my calculator, divided that by 2, and I still would have got 63. Make sense? All right. I just did it this way because the numbers were a little bit big. I didn't know 14 times 9 in my head, right? So I thought, oh, 2 goes into 14. That makes it a little easier. I can do 7 times 9 in my head, all right? But if you got a calculator, doesn't matter how you do it. Okay. We go to triangles. All right, let's do this one. Oops. All right, not done with it yet. Let's change it a little bit. What's that thing now? Parallelogram, right, parallelogram. All right, so let's get some numbers. What about the bottom of this? What do you think that is? 8, I heard. Okay, we like 8. We've been using that a couple times. And here's what they do. And then they drop down the height from here. Oops, there it is. And there's a right angle. And I don't know. What do you think that is? 4? Yeah, it looks probably close to 4. All right, and that's all they give you. That's all we need, isn't it? Super easy. But let's show your work. Okay, don't just do it in your head. You could do it in your head, but let's show the work. So this is a parallelogram. What's the area of a parallelogram? It's just base times the height. And remember, the base and the height have to be what to each other? The base and the height have to be, we've asked this question so many times, you should get it right away. Perpendicular. The base and the height have to be perpendicular. Even the first time you took notes on this, I think I put a little arrow right there, and I even said they have to be perpendicular. You can double check me on that. I'm not sure if I did. I think I did. I would normally say that. All right, so these have to be perpendicular. Are the 8 and the 4 perpendicular? Yeah, all right, because this is the base. Now, I had to extend it out a little bit, right? But it is perpendicular to where the base would be. All right, so yes, they are perpendicular. So what do? Just 8. Let's go centimeters this time. Did we do centimeters yet? Maybe. That's all right. We'll do it again. So this is 8 centimeters times what? 4 centimeters. And that gives me 32 centimeters what? Squared. And there you go. And that's how you do that problem. All right, the next 3 problems on the quiz, they're going to give it to you in words. All right, they're not going to draw a picture for you. All right, so the first one, by the way, if you're keeping count, this is number 5 on the quiz. All right, that was 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, this is number 5. So they say find the area, and then they tell you what figure of a triangle, so they don't give you a picture. These are actually, to me, these are probably easier than if they give you the picture, I think. All right, find the area of a triangle, and they tell you the base. The base is 56. Oops, yeah, 56 centimeters. And the height, I don't know, give me a number. 24. okay, is 24 centimeters. All right, so there's your base, there's your height. What are you trying to find? Well, the what of the triangle? The area of the triangle. All right, so what's the formula? Let's write it down. It's like the third time today. Base times height divided by 2. So let's throw it in here. What is the base? 56. What's the height? 24. And then you divide it by 2. Now you could take the 2 and divide it into one of these, but you're probably still going to have, like 56 times 12. I don't know what that is. So somebody put that in there. What's 56 times 24? You can do it all. 56 times 24. That's 1344. 1344 over 2. Divide that by 2, and that's 672. 672. 672 what? Do I just circle it? No. What am I missing? It's centimeters squared, because area is always squared. Make sure I did that right. Yep. So that was actually easier, I think, wasn't it, than the picture? Because they tell you straight up what the base is and what the height is. It couldn't be any more straightforward. Would you agree? All right. 6. This time, they say parallelogram. Well, we already did a parallelogram earlier, so we should know how to do it with this. And again, they give you the base and the height. All right. So I'll just write this in there. The base, I don't know, I'm just making up a number. Let's say 20. And the height is what? Of course. Give me a pass. All right, and the height is, I don't know, give me a nice easy number. 8. You like your 8s, don't you? Did you fill it out? Fill it out and then give it to me. Come on, do your part. All right, so how do we find the area of a parallelogram? It's the base times the height. And this is in, let's say it's in meters. Okay? So it's 20 what? Meters times 8 meters. And that gives you, what's that? 160 meters what? Squared. Couldn't be easier. Would you agree? Yeah, pretty simple. You understand why everybody should be getting good grades on this quiz? This time they ask you to find the area of a square. There you go. And they tell you one side of the square. Give me a number. Not 8. 6. Okay. So the side of the square is 6. So how do I find it? If they give me a side, what's the area of a square when they give me the side? It's side what? Side squared. So what is the side? 6. And what do we do with that? We square it. What's 6 squared? 36. 6 times 6. Again, if you have a calculator, you probably have a square button on your calculator. You should have a button that says x squared on there. All right, you hit that, boom, you get it. But come on, 6 times 6, everybody should be able to get that. But it's not just 36. I don't circle it. Oh, what do we got here? Let's go miles. That's a big square. 6 miles, okay? So this would be 36 what? Miles squared. Okay? And that could make sense, right? If you go out to the Midwest somewhere, they got these big farms, right? And if they have a square farm, all right, one side could be 6 miles, the other could be 6 miles. So what's the square footage, or what's the square miles, I should say, not foot. What's the square miles of that farm? 36 square miles. So if somebody says, oh, the area of this piece of land is 36 square miles, you can in your head think, oh, one side's probably 6 and the other side, but it doesn't have to be like that. You could have it like, I don't know, what else is 36? 9 times 4, right? You could have one length is 9 and the other is 4, and that's still 36 square miles, isn't it? Make sense? All right, so you could have a bunch of things. You could have one is 18, and it's kind of a skinny farm, right? 18 miles that way and 2 miles that way, and that's still 36 square, but it's still the same area. It's the same amount of area. All right, enough of that. 8, 9, and 10. We haven't got to these three yet. These are from 7-2. Number 8 is the rhombus. This time they go back to giving you pictures. So they give you a picture. So let's draw a picture. Let's slant it a little bit like this. And let's try to make the sides. That looks pretty close. All right, so there's a rhombus. And guess what they give you? They don't give you the base and the height this time. What do you think they give you on the rhombus? The diagonals. That's right. Okay, so there's one diagonal. Let's change the colors of the diagonals. So you got a red diagonal and you got a blue diagonal. All right. And if it's a rhombus, do you remember what kind of angle is in the middle here? If it's a rhombus, it's always perpendicular. The diagonals are perpendicular on a rhombus. We studied that in the last chapter. Whether or not you remember, I don't know. But let's say this was, I don't know, 5 inches. Now, if I put the 5 right there, okay, that indicates this one to this one. Okay, that's the 5 right there. Everybody see that? All right. If I wanted to tell you the whole thing, I would probably, actually they don't do that on this quiz, so don't even worry about it. If I put the 5 there, that means this little bit is 5. You okay with that? All right, what about this one? This one looks a little bit longer than this one. Let's make this 7. All right, I heard 7 first. So let's make that 7, and that's 7 inches. So now I want to find the area of this rhombus. Well, what is the area of a rhombus? What's the formula? Yeah, let's go 1/2 first, and then D1, D2. Or you could put D1, D2 over 2. It's fine. Doesn't make any difference. Everybody with me? All right. Now, this is where it's not tricky, but it's something you got to think about. You're not just going to use these numbers right here. Okay? So if this is 5, what's that whole entire red diagonal? It's going to be 10. Because on a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect each other. And it's a rhombus, but it's also a parallelogram. Okay, they bisect each other. So that's going to be 5. Okay? If that's 7, what's this? The whole thing is 14, but this little bit's also going to be 7. So what's so 1/2. D1, let's say D1 is the red one. How much is that? It's 10. And I can do that in my head. All right? And then what's D2, the blue one? It's 14. And now we can work this out. All right? So what's 10 times 14? 140. And then you take half of it or divide by 2, however you want to do it. What's that? That's 70, right? But it's 70 what? Inches squared. And that's the area. If I can make my circle here. There we go. And that's how you do something like that. All right, so be careful with that. They might only give you half of the diagonal. Keep pushing this dumb button on this pen. Wish they wouldn't put that button there. I think people do use that button, but I don't. Anyway, there you go. Okay? Make sure you use the whole diagonal. Don't just use the 5. Don't just use the 7. Okay. 2 more, and we'll be finished. How about that? Sorry, it doesn't look like we'll have time for a video, but it's all right. What are we missing? What haven't we done yet? Kite and a trapezoid. So the next one, number 9 on the quiz, is a trapezoid. And let's go like to there. Let's go to there. Let's go to there. All right, there's a good old trapezoid. And on the quiz, they do this. Why do they do that? Because that makes it a trapezoid. Remember, if you have one pair of parallel sides, that's a trapezoid. All right? They give you a length for here. Give me a good length for the top of this. Let's go 5. I heard 5 first. What do you think this is down here then? If that's 5, this is probably... If I took that and put it here, yeah, it could be about 10. Let's make it 12. Is that all right? I don't know if it will be 12 or not. It's probably a little too long. Who cares? All right, and then they give you something else. They got to give you the height. Because if you don't know the height, you won't be able to do this, will you? So where is the height? It's from the top. It's from the one parallel line perpendicular to the other parallel. Okay? It's perpendicular to both bases. Everybody see that? All right, so that is your height for sure. I don't know. What do you think the height is? 4? Looks like 7 maybe. Yeah, it looks kind of close to the 5. We'll say 7. Who cares? They're just numbers. Okay, they don't have to really work out. All right, so now, what's the area of a trapezoid? It's 1/2. That's right. It's B1 plus B2, base 1 plus base 2, times the what? Times the height. So now, look, they give you everything you need, don't they? They don't give you anything extra, and they're not leaving anything out. So it's just 1/2. B1 plus B2 is what? Yeah, I should have picked better numbers, but that's okay. You got your calculator. Let's do it. So B1 plus B2 is 17, times the height is 7, and then whatever that comes out to be. I didn't pick very nice numbers, but that's okay. With a calculator, does it really make any difference? 7. So that's 119. Divide that by 2, and that's 59.5. 59. Is that what you got? Yes. All right, this is, and I didn't do, what haven't we used yet? What units? Millimeters? Okay, that's a pretty tiny trapezoid, but that's okay. Everything's in millimeters, so what's my answer in? Millimeters what? Millimeters squared, just like that. Have I emphasized enough that you need to put your units in here and it needs to be squared? Please. Because, listen, if you do not, everybody listening? If you do not put the units in here, guess what? I'm going to mark it wrong. Everybody hear me? I've been stressing the units so much. So make sure that you put them in there. Don't forget. I don't give you any reminder on the quiz to put the units, but you got to put them in there. All right? That's part of getting the answer right. All right, what are we missing? Kite. Let's do a kite. Easy way to draw a kite is to draw this and make sure that one right there is split in the middle. And then I got a nice kite. And let me change the colors of these diagonals. Let's make that green this time. And let's make this one, I don't know, blue. We've used blue a lot. We haven't used yellow today. Let's use yellow. How's that? All right. And they're going to give you some numbers. They make this really easy for you. Let's say that's 5. Let's stay color coordinated here. Let's say this is 3. Now this is a lot longer, so let's say it's like 8 or something like that. And let's go even numbers just to make it easier for us. Is that all right? So let's go 2. All right. Again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I don't know. I want to make a big deal about this. Let's go 3 and 3. Okay? You got it. So now, watch. So the area. What's the area of a kite? It's the same thing as the area of a rhombus, which is 1/2 D1 D2. All right. So there's my half. What's it doesn't matter which one D1 and D2 is. What's the yellow? Do the yellow one first. What's the whole diagonal? It's 10, 2 and 8, right? So we can just write that in right there. What's the green one? It's 6. Okay. 10 times 6 is 60. Take half of it or divide it by 2, however you want to look at it, and that gives you 30. Super easy. Didn't put any units on here. We need to. Is there any units we haven't used yet? Okay, kilometers, kilometers. All right. Put everything in kilometers. And so this is going to be what? Kilometers squared. And there you go. And there's your quiz. And everybody got 100, right? I mean, this is a chance. This is a chance for everybody to get 100 on this. I mean, I'm not just kidding, all right? But you got to know your formulas. You got to make sure, don't do something dumb and forget your units. Okay? Watch. I almost wrote down, don't be dumb. All right? But don't forget what? Don't forget the units. What does that mean, the units? Yeah. Kilometers squared, centimeters squared, feet squared, inches squared. Don't forget the units. Or it's what? It's wrong. Okay? Or it's wrong. Even if you put the right number. Even if you put 30. If you just do this, watch. You write A equals 30, and this is number 10. What am I going to do? Bam, bam. You don't want that, do you? All right? So don't forget the units. I can't stress that enough. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll take the worksheet. We didn't really go over the worksheet, but that's okay. Everything we did here is fine. All right, I will take the worksheet, and then just study for the quiz tonight. Just pass it up to somebody. Don't hand it to me individually. And then that's what we're doing tomorrow. Should not take the whole time tomorrow. Okay, maybe we'll show video after you're done. I'll probably give you like maybe 20 minutes or so to do the quiz tomorrow. All right, that's enough.